It's time for another sit down and talk video. I know today I had planned to actually put up the next episode of the playthrough, but I got requested to do this video and I really want to. Before we get into this though, our topic of today comes from Nexus. They're a Halo org. Here's the tweet that they put out, and well, that leads to a lot of debate and a lot of conversation, so I want to talk about it. I want to dive into it very heavily, and I want to set some things in mind when it comes to talking about the next iteration of Halo and what it could be, whether it's free to play or a paid experience, because both of these things come with a lot of goods and bads. Now, I will start and say this off. Do I hate free to play games? No, I do not. Do I hate paid titles? No, I do not. My only complaint with most games that are paid, specifically like Call of Duty every year, I think the games being $70 is totally fine. I don't hate that at all. My main issue is that I do feel like the stores are a little bit predatory with how their prices are. I mean, you'll see a bundle come in for $30, $40 right after the game releases, and it's like, what the hell? So now I'm spending $120, $130 on this, and it is a little bit ridiculous. But besides that, there is a lot of debate with Halo and where it should go after the release of Infinite and how it went, how the state of Infinite currently is, and what we should look forward to in the future. And today we are going to be diving into that kind of deeply with the whole paid versus free to play aspect of it. It's a big thing, it's a concerning thing, and it's a little bit, you know, an odd mixed bag of things. And I'll be flat out and honest with it. I don't really care which route we go. It doesn't bother me. Now, personally, I'm just gonna say it how it is. My only worry when it comes to free games is it becoming a live service title. I don't think Halo works under a live service title, personally. To me, it just kind of feels flat. And we've seen it with Infinite. When the game released, it wasn't in a good state. Honestly, it was in a pretty low state right from the get-go. There wasn't a lot of content, wasn't a lot of maps, wasn't really any customization, and the biggest thing that I don't think people liked was there really wasn't a way to earn certain things in the game, which to me really does give games longevity. And actually, one thing that I kind of do respect COD for to a degree, is the whole thing that they have in multiplayer with the challenge system. There's things you can earn. There's player cards, there's titles, there's things like that. And MW3 did a really cool thing too. Shout out to Sledgehammer for that. Is the whole weekly challenge system that gives you things like blueprints, camos, etc. And I think that's honestly really fucking cool. And I would love to see something like that in Halo in the future. And I think if they did like a full release title that is paid, I think we would get more of that. And we do need to keep in consideration when it does come to things like free-to-play games, these teams do have to figure out a way to make money. Whether it's putting in battle passes or adding things into stores that are a little bit more expensive than usual. And I do think that is a good and bad thing. So, when it comes to free-to-play, there are a lot of good aspects of it. And that is mostly that players can play whenever. People can come in and try it whenever because it's free. But, for example, let's go into the release of Infinite. Now, you all know me, I hype up Infinite a lot. I love the game. I love the gameplay. I love the abilities. I like it all. The gameplay loop does really keep me in with the game. But we do gotta be honest, and I have to be honest myself, I didn't really enjoy the game on release. I liked the gameplay, but there was really nothing to do. And I'm happy now that I have found things that I really do enjoy doing in the game and stuff like that. There's the hero grind, there's ranked, and it's really fun. I love a lot of the maps. I like going for like, if y'all know me, I like going for trick shots on Halo just because it's really fun. And stuff like that. Like, I found ways to keep myself interested in the title as I'm going through it. But I will say this, because it was free to play, they really couldn't dump a fuckload of money into the multiplayer more than likely, because they're like, well, we don't know if we're going to make this back. So therefore, it has to release in a almost bare bones state, which isn't good for the game. And that instantly set a precipice of, this isn't a good game, there's no content. And then we've seen time and time again as the years have went on with Infinite, not a lot really changed. There was the battle passes at first. Now we have the operations, which I do love that those are free. But there's also stuff in the store you can buy if you want to. They added the exchange recently, which I think is a very, very good thing. And I think that should have been there on release, personally. And I think if they do go the route with the free-to-play thing, there does need to be an exchange system. It's very good for the game. It actually is very good. It gives people a reason to continue playing. But I want to hop into one specific thing about Infinite that has actually bothered me a lot since the day of release. And to this point is something that I've talked about quite a bit and I've harped on time and time again, is there isn't too much to do. When it comes to Halo Infinite, I really don't know what I'm going to do after I finish Hero, if I'm going to be completely honest. I'll do operations when they come out and stuff like that, but in all actuality, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing with the game, because there's not really a lot for me to go for. There's really not a challenge system. There's the weekly and dailies, and those are pretty set forward and straight, but I wish we had a system where, you know, for example, like, old armor and stuff like that in Halo. I wish there was a way to earn it via doing like challenges and stuff. Like go win this many games of Slayer or get this many kills with this weapon, get this many types of metal, play in this playlist and get this many wins. Stuff like that I think would actually be really good for Halo. And I know that I'm kind of taking that directly from COD because they do it, or you know how COD has the whole system of like if you get a nuclear, you'll get this calling card and you can show, or you get this skin in the game and now you can show that off and show, hey, I grinded for this. And I think that's actually a really good system. It gives people a reason to continue playing. It gives them a reason to actually go for things in the game. And I do think if we got a paid game, that more than likely would come into fruition in some way, and I really do hope it would. Just things that you can actually earn by leveling up, by completing challenges, by playing certain modes, getting certain medals and stuff of that nature, getting colors, coding, skins, whatever it fucking may be. Seeing all that added through that, and I don't think you can really do that in a free-to-play game. There's really only one that gets an exception for it, and I think it's because of how much it's made over the years as Fortnite, that they're able to do like these like little quests every season that give you skins and stuff, but people still pay for those battle passes because they're so robust. They have a bunch of content inside of them, and that game generates an insane amount of money that Halo doesn't anymore. So therefore, they are reliant on the store to keep the game alive. If people isn't like buying anything, then they can't keep that game running because it's a live service title, which actually kind of leads to what I think this conversation should be more about, is live service versus no live service. And I don't think Halo should be a live service title. I don't think really any game should, because the thing that irritates me the most and concerns me the most when it comes to live title games or live service games is they're eventually going to fucking die. They will eventually shut those servers off. And the good thing about Halo, at least currently with the old games, is there's MCC, and I just did a whole video talking on the future of MCC because it's not getting fucking fixed. It's ridden with hackers, it's unsafe to play for most people, especially big content creators, and I'm gonna be honest with you, as my content has continued to grow, I've been genuinely concerned playing the game when it comes to streaming or doing videos on it. I'm like, well, what if somebody just hits me off? Like, what do I do? What do I do if somebody joins my lobby and my IP is now out there to everybody? It does concern me, and I do hope that's something that gets fixed, but I'm happy because it does give me a way to go back and play those old campaigns, those old firefight matches, and sometimes multiplayer whenever I'm feeling up to it. But when it comes to a live service title, it does really, really concern me because, well, one day that's going to get shut down inevitably. It's not going to be there anymore, and I don't want to see that. And it's actually my biggest worry with Infinite is one day I'm going to get a notification and it's saying Infinite is shutting down servers this day, and I'm going to have to come back and make a video, and that's going to actually kind of hurt me a little bit because I started making content on Halo Infinite and I do have a large love for that game. It was where I started deciding to make content, where I wanted to start doing things differently with what I did content-wise. Instead of just streaming, I wanted to make videos. I'm actually currently working on a huge video with a couple of different creators, and I really cannot wait to get that out to you all. And more than anything, it just made me push myself. I'm actually working on more short form content. I'm trying to figure out how to do all of that and how I want to do it. Shout out to really Blair for getting me into that and making me want to do it, because I see his stuff that he's doing and I'm just like, this is so fucking rad. But I do think this game shouldn't be a live service free-to-play title. I genuinely don't think that actually helps Halo in any form or passion. I think it actually does cause a lot of issues because of content drought. That's the biggest thing, and I don't want to see Halo go through that cycle again, and I do understand that not everybody can afford it. And if it's on Game Pass, that's cool. That's fine, but I do think it should be a personal paid title to actually help further the growth of Halo and actually give us a full fleshed out game where it's not reliant on a store to keep it intact. Actually let those sales show, and things of that nature. Of course, there's nothing wrong with having a store. I'm fine with that, having armor and stuff in the store. That's totally fine by me. I'm not mad about that. But I do understand some conversations where people will see old armor come in and they'll be like, oh my god, is this going to be part of the past? And it's in the store instead of something that is earnable by playing the game. I do get that kind of sentiment towards that whole thing. It makes sense. I know some people are like, oh, well, it was in an old game, who fucking cares? No, there's people who do want to go back and be able to earn that, or like, damn, it was cool when this was earnable because it actually gave like the status that I earned it. And Infinite is actually missing that. The only thing that shows status is the hero grind. But I do think it should be beyond that. There should be things to do in game to earn these super unique forms of armor, and I would be totally okay with that, and I think that would actually work the most. And one of my friends actually commented on that post and said, the biggest thing that actually annoys me about Infinite is I feel like I have to pay for these old armors that are kind of just iconic to Halo overall. For example, ODST is locked behind a battle pass, and you have to buy this pass in order to go through and earn it. I will say this about Halo Infinite though. They don't let FOMO be a thing. You can go buy these battle passes whenever. They add these bundles back all the time, or you can access them in the store even after they're not like on the main page. There's certain things that have been vaulted, and I wish they would bring back, but I'm actually pretty okay with how they do it. They don't keep it as it's like, you just had to be there. Like, oh well, buddy. And I'm totally fine with that. I like how they do it. It's very cool and very unique to me. And it makes me happy because it gives people the opportunity to come back and earn this stuff and actually continue playing. But I do hope with the next Halo title, we don't see that kind of route of like the free to play live service thing. Just because I don't personally think it's good for games, and it really does worry me with the future. Worries me with the future of the game after it's over. Are the servers going to get shut down? Is it going to be so unsupported and unmonitored, like uncared about, that it's just going to get overran with hackers? With Infinite specifically, it worries me because of how robust Forge has become, and if they become such a big problem that people can't play it, all this really cool Forge content is kind of just left to the waste, and that sucks because there's a lot of really cool shit in there. And trust me, I will die by that. If you were bored of Halo Infinite, go boot up some custom games, go boot up some Forge with your friends, and go have some fucking fun. There is so much good shit in there that you all will absolutely love to death. But overall, I do want to ask you all, how do you feel about it? Do you want it to be a paid experience, or do you want it to be free to play? And also, what do you all think could happen with a free to play versus a paid experience to make it better, or vice versa? What ways is a paid title better than a free to play title? Because there's arguments for both. Personally, I'm on the end for paid because I just think it works better. I think it gives people more content to go for. The only thing is like price gouging. Don't price gouge a fucking game. I think $60 to $70 is totally fine as long as it's a fully fleshed out title, and we will see that in the future if that's how it goes. I do hope we do. I hope the next Halo title actually does super fucking well. I want to see Halo back on the spotlight, and I think that's one good thing about a lot of these creators and stuff that are very niche and small is that we're all just working to making Halo's community a better place, and I really cannot thank them enough for doing that. As a creator myself who tries to shine light on these things, it's very good for the community, and you should go check out a lot of smaller creators such as Austin Weebring, Sergeant Blair, Magpie, Boomerang, who does machinimas. They're all really cool, and they all just want to build this community back to being better. There's a lot of negativity here in this Halo community of ours, and a lot of it is unwarranted. A lot of it causes a lot of divide amongst fans, and that doesn't help us at all. I think if we would all actually just work together to get the games that we want, and to actually, forward that message of, hey, this is what we want as players, whether you're old or new, just make your voice heard, but don't be an asshole about it. And that's where I'm going to leave it here. Other than that, though, I will see you all later, and yeah, later, dudes.